to you. It's Saturday morning, and so what I have done is I have brought my ISM book home, and then what I want to do is I want to kind of go over what mine looks like, because remember, next week you're going to have an ISM book check. Those people that are coming to school on Monday, which is A day, your ISM book check will be Monday. Those of you that are coming for B day, your ISM book check will be on Wednesday. So let's just go ahead and let's go over what our ISM book needs to look like. So when you open it up, you should have a table of contents. As you can tell, my table of contents is pretty much going to the end of the page today. So if we look, I have everything. So if you need to pause this and try to figure out if you can read my chicken scratch, then great. Okay. So then the next thing is I ask you to skip several pages. Okay. The next thing I have is I have my syllabus, and I have my syllabus stapled in, and I have the name on the top, and I have page number 1. Now all these pages here will correspond with the pages that I have over here. Okay. So that's my syllabus. The next thing that I have is my student inventory sheet. That is the next thing. And I actually have that with the title on the top. That's my 2. Page 3 is my safety contract. Number 4 is my safety test. And then we go into the readings. So this is reading 1.1. So this is my notes that I had. The brain pop information that I needed to have. So I need to highlight that because that's my brain pop notes that I took. And I have my zombie certificate. So the next one is reading 10 through 13, which I think is 1.2. So after on that, I have my notes, as you can see. And remember what I told you to do is to highlight the significant figures. I'll be looking at that to make sure that you have done that. Also, I think that the dimension analysis here also needs to be highlighted because that's something that you need to look at to make sure it pops at you. Another thing that I think I would want to highlight is my SI units that are on the left-hand side. And I also think I would want to highlight these prefixes, because remember, if you're trying to do some, you need to find these, and these have to be in your ISM book so you can find it pretty easily. Okay? So then the next page is where we were doing practice problems. So first of all, here's our rules for adding, subtracting, rounding up, and rounding down. So I'm going to highlight those two because I think those are important, so that when I go back through, and then underneath there is the review. So that is the practice problems that we did in that chapter. Okay? And like I said, you can always pause this to look at the information if you need to. Okay? The next thing that I have is section 3. So this is 1.3. So section 1.3 talked about measurement. And so here are my information. I think that my dry and my mix would be something that I would want to highlight because I think that's important. Independent, dependent variable I think is important. Linear relationship, non-linear relationship are things that I think I would have highlighted. Also, as you know, as you saw, as you went through your test, you see that maybe vocabulary words, those are important because that way you can actually find them again. So in my notes, what I would be doing now is, since I looked at the test to know, I would make sure that I have my vocabulary words in here because I think it's easier to find in here to be able to answer those questions. Okay? So that is the end of chapter 1. Then we get into chapter 2. Here are my notes again. It also talks about emotion diagram, what it looks like, and explains what you need to have for a motion diagram. I put that visual 1 motion diagram here over the notes that I had here. Here would be my test corrections for chapter 1. And then 2.2 is my reading assignment. There's another vocabulary word. I see one of them. I see another one. I see another one. So I want to highlight those. And then here is giving me some terms that I might have needed. So I'm going to put that on there. So I have for time interval and displacement. Well, there are some things that I need to look at with that. That's important. And then underneath there is my practice problems. Sorry, and I put this on 2 places and I only needed it in 1. So that's my mistake. Let me put the answer sheet there. Okay, so then I have 2.3, position time graph. Well, there is a definition. I already have my dry mix and how that works, so I don't have to highlight it again. Here are my practice problems that I did for class. Instantaneous position is another vocabulary word. Equivalent representation is another one. These are some more of my answers. 2.4 has to do with velocity and speed. So I know that this right here is a very important information about velocity and speed. I know average velocity, there's a formula that I might have to use. And then it gives me an example of what my graph should look like. So I just highlighted all of that because I think that's all important. And here are my practice problems and other practice problems and more practice problems that we did in class. 3.1 has to do with acceleration of motion. So we had like the motion diagram, how he was at rest, how they were at a constant speed, how they were speeding up, how they were slowing down. And remember, those are motion diagrams. But then underneath here are particle model diagrams. And the particle model diagrams are the dots. The definition of acceleration along with the formula. It gives me how positive acceleration and negative acceleration, which way they're going on the graph. Also shows me my rise over run, showing me what slope is. Remember, slope has to do with velocity versus time graph. Then we have 3.1. Average acceleration is a definition. Instantaneous acceleration is a definition. How to calculate acceleration, there's a formula, an example. And then I have my practice problems. .2 motion with constant acceleration. Well, here is a graph. Here is actually showing me how this is working. Here's a formula. It's already highlighted. Final velocity with average acceleration. That is another formula that I would need to know. And then our practice problems underneath. Section 3.3. That is on free fall. Sorry, I want to make sure. Yeah. And so for free fall, I have a definition. So I want to make sure I actually highlight that. Here it's 9.8 meters per second per gravity. That's something important that I want to highlight. Here are some questions that they were talking about, or demonstrations they were having. There's 41, 42, and 43. And here is where I'm going to put my test on Chapter 3. Now, that is my ISM book. That is what I'm going to be looking for. That's my expectation. So remember, this one here, this ISM book check is just going to be a quick check where you're going to go and you're going to flip through your ISM book when you're in class, and I'm going to look at it. So please make sure that you keep track of this. This here is going to be a test grade or a quiz grade whenever I decide I want to check it. And maybe that will help you out where if you keep this up, it'll help you if you don't do as well on the test as you would like. Well, I hope you have a great weekend, and I can't wait to see you Monday or Wednesday. Have a blessed day.